Hello and welcome back to my channel, Welshman Reviews. I'm Gareth and today I'm going to be doing my review for Superman plus my rankings of all his live action movies, apart from one it is. But we'll get straight into the review. This is a movie directed by James Gunn, so obviously you know him from the MCU's Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy. He also did do the Suicide Squad for DC as well, and a few other great movies as well before, including Sliver, where he worked with Nathan Fillion in that as well. Right, we'll go through the actors now and all. So I've broken them down into kind of groups I have. So we'll do the Daily Planet first, which is David Corenswet, who plays Superman / Clark Kent. We have Rachel Bosnahan, if I butchered that, apologies, is the new Lois Lane. We do have Skylar Gisondo, who's Jimmy Olsen, Michaela Hoover as Cat Grant, and we also have Wendell Pierce as Perry White, and Beck Bennett as Steve Lombard, who is the sports guy in the group. So we go on to the bad guys now. So it's pretty much only two. There's technically three in the movie, plus the president of one of the countries. But the two main ones is Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor and Maria Gabriela de Faria is the engineer, one of the meta humans under his one of his bodyguards and that. So that's the bad guys. And then last but not least, then pretty much for the main characters is the Justice Gang, which is Nathan Fillion as Green Lantern Guy Gardner, Isabella Merced as Hawkgirl, and Eddie Gaffergy, if I butchered that again, I apologise, as Mr. Terrific. So loads more actors in this movie, but I'm not going to go through them all by here, except for one. Zlatko Burek is the president of one of the countries, which we will go into right now. So we go into the synopsis of the movie now. So when Superman gets drawn into a conflict at home and abroad, his actions are questioned, giving tech billionaire Lex Luthor the opportunity to get the Man of Steel out of the way for good. So yeah, pretty much some of the movie has a really good storyline for the majority of the part, not so much for some of the other parts, but we'll go into the negatives, positives when I talk about that. But yeah, you don't see him stop a war, but you get told in the beginning he stopped the country Boravia, going in occupying Janranpur. Apologies, I'm butchering stuff these days and all that. So he gets his ass whooped by the hammer of Boravia, but we find out that is someone else pretty soon in the movie, actually. It is. But a lot gets talked about in the movie and about where does Superman lie? Should he be doing stuff like this, going into other countries without talking to the presidents of them countries, etc., etc.? Because even though he's a savior of the world, he does operate out of America, to be honest. So the US government are wondering about him and all that. Is he doing enough? Is he doing good by doing this? There is a brilliant scene with Lois interviewing Clark Kent, really, as Superman doing their thing. Clips have been online for it, but it's a very good scene which just shows Superman is very much, black or white. It is on it. It's no grey area with him. He sees someone in trouble or someone's going to be killed, he's going to go in and save the day. But in the movie, it is questioned about his, that much power. Does he need something? No, the government need to rein him in a bit and all that. So it's similar to a bit of not Man of Steel. A bit of Man of Steel, but a bit of Batman versus Superman, the Snyder movies as well, tucked in there. But then we have Lex Luthor then manages to get his way into the Fortress of Solitude, destroys pretty much all the him well, Ultraman and the engineer kind of destroys all the thing, incapacitates Crypto, and then hacks his computer, where there is a video of his parents speaking in Kryptonian, telling him how much they love him and all that. But unfortunately, the last part of that video is damaged after the thing, but they managed to get it up, and they find out it's not so much the come to this planet and help these humans out as you would think it is. It's more of take as many wives as you want and all that, and try and have more Kryptonian babies, etc. Something like that. So Lex Luthor uses the propaganda thing to really take it to Superman and that, and that's where we left. If you've seen the trailer, he gets arrested, or he hands himself in, gets put into a prison in a pocket universe and all that, and needs to escape and then save the world from Lex Luthor and his the pocket universe, which is now expanded into the real world and splitting up Metropolis by the end of the movie. It is. That's pretty much just a little gist of the synopsis. It is. My little quick thoughts before I get into my positives and negatives. I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was a very fun movie. If you love the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, like I do, very fun movies, this is going to be right up your alley. It is a very fun movie. Don't get me wrong, it's not without its positives and negatives, which I will get into soon. But overall, I give it it was a very good, enjoyable movie, to be honest. So we'll go into my positives and negatives. So we'll go into my negatives first, because it's not a lot, to be honest. But I think some of the story is, to be honest. Unfortunately for this movie, and I thought this when the trailer came out, I thought, is it going to be bogged down with so many characters? I know a few people are saying, oh, it was. And personally, for me, I think it was, because they didn't develop enough of the characters. The ones they did develop great is Superman, Lois, Mr. Terrific's a standout in this movie. I like Guy Gardner as well. Unfortunately, Hawkgirl doesn't get a lot of screen time in this movie, and yeah, a bit of underdeveloped in my opinion. Plus the Daily Planet staff, apart from obviously Lois Lane, Superman, and Jimmy Olsen, who has a nice little arc and is a ladies' man in this movie. He is. The rest don't really do much in the movie, to be honest. They're there, backrooms thing and all that, background staff, etc. and that. So I think it's a bit underdeveloped on some of the characters and all. I think it is a bit too busy with the characters and that. It is. And yeah, like I said, the story in some part, I love the story of him being held accountable for going to these countries and stuff, and the war between these two countries as well. I enjoyed that. The rest of it then is, you've kind of seen it, some of the story before, unfortunately. Like I said, the government trying to rein him in and that. You've seen it already in Zack Snyder's Superman movies. There is also a thing of Lex is funding the war to take over, because he wants that the smaller country that's getting taken over, he's going to have it as his own land. So we've kind of seen that before in the older Superman ones. So nothing too new in these movies, unfortunately. But they're pretty much my only two little negatives of this movie. Oh, and I wasn't a big fan of the last end scene as well, because just like all the other superhero movies that come out, especially the big ones and Superman, it was a big CGI mess of a thing, with the Metropolis getting destroyed a bit with the pocket universe opening up into our world, let's say. So yeah, it's a bit of a mess, the last third, like the fast, as in a CGI mess, let's just say. But other than that, my positives are, the actors are brilliant in this movie. I think everyone does a brilliant job, especially the main three, Superman, Lois, and Lex Luthor. Them actors, I think they done brilliant. Their chemistry together on screen is brilliant. I honestly would say this, honestly, I think David Corenswet is probably the best Superman stroke Clark we've had since Christopher Reeves, in my opinion. Just his mannerisms, the way he changes from Superman, from Clark to Superman. It is very much like Christopher Reeves, to be honest. Not as good as Christopher Reeves. I still hold him as the top spot of the live action movies, but he is a close second to that. Lois Lane does a brilliant job of her investigating and stuff like that. It is, and her and Rachel and David have a very good chemistry on thing, and James Gunn has said it in interviews and all that. That's why he's put them together. Even though the other actors he said and actresses he had were very good, them two were the best chemistry out of the lot of them, and I can't deny it. Both absolutely brilliant. Nicholas Hoult is a brilliant Lex Luthor, in my opinion. Very egotistical, and his hatred for Superman is so intensified. I honestly don't think, apart from maybe the Lex Luthor in the animated shows, Superman going into Justice League Unlimited up that run, as Lex Luthor hated Superman so much. You do get it a bit with other ones, obviously, but I think it's intensified with Nicholas Hoult and that with this. I enjoyed Nathan Fillion as well. I thought he was funny as Guy Gardner when he was on screen. And another, like I said, Mr. Terrific was another one. It was quite a bit of screen time in this movie, and he's brilliant and has some funny interactions with Lois and Superman in this movie. It is. I enjoyed the action of this movie as well. Especially, I didn't think I enjoyed the kaiju fight as much as I did. It's a nice little break in the middle of. It's a distraction for Luthor to go into the Fortress of Solitude, but you can see Superman in that fight how much he doesn't want damage around him with the buildings and saving people. He punches or he hits the creature and it nearly falls into a building. He just about protects it, but he turns. Oh no. Yeah, when the thing blows fire at him, he turns around the building and he asks if the people are safe, okay. So it shows how much Superman really cares about the people around him as well. But he also cares about the creatures, because that's when you first get introduced to the Justice Gang, and they come in and wanting to kill it. But Superman wants to just knock it out and take it to a galactic zoo, he says, so they can study it and that. So, but yeah, the action's very good, and you get, like I said, it's a CGI mess at the end and all that, but it is a good fight scene between Superman the Engineer and Ultraman at the end of the movie as well. CGI I thought was very good as well in this movie. A lot of green screen and stuff like that, which you're going to see, obviously, but the flight scenes and all that, I thought were done really well, to be honest. I thought the CGI was very well done in this movie. I think I got Superman down for you. Like I've already said about Superman, I think he is the second best live action one in my opinion. It is. Obviously everyone's going to have a different opinion. It is. And I did enjoy the music. I did like the updated original by John Williams as well, but they use a bit of that in it as well. But they also have some actual songs in the movie as well, which James Gunn is very well at doing. If you've seen the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, it is. So yeah, there's my positives and negatives. There's way more positives than negatives. I give this movie a solid 7.5 out of 10. I did have it a bit lower, but rethinking it and all that, I think it's a 7.5 movie for me. It is. Just a few little negatives, which hopefully they'll clear up a little bit. No offense to James Gunn, I think he's a brilliant director and that, but I heard it on another one. I agree with this other site. I can't remember who it was that said he's brilliant at directing, doing quirky characters, like the Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff like that. And he was brilliant directing all the characters in this, but especially the Guy Gardners, Mr. Terrific, and stuff like that. So maybe bring in another writer for the next Superman movie if they do another one in the next couple of years and that. It is. Just get someone in there who can elevate the Superman story and get a nice original story going for his next movie. It is. But yeah, 7.5 out of 10. Really enjoyed this movie. Can't wait for it to come out. I've already pre-ordered my Steelbook already. So yeah, definitely looking forward to it coming out on physical media. So that's my review for Superman 2025. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below and tell me what you thought of the movie, and come back on Sunday because I will have my rankings of all the live action Superman movies. So, and I will see you next time. Bye.